To a workaholic, word to Dr. Dre, and that first marijuana tape. Yes, I got a chronic case, and I ain't just blowing smoke. Less it's in your mama's face. I know this time Paul and Dre.
Yo, what is going down, y'all, man? Welcome into the most underrated podcast. You're hearing some new Eminem. He dropped it on us late last night, and we talked a little bit about the podcast. We kind of went back and forth whether we were going to get into the M album or not. It just came out late last night. It's not something that I feel comfortable enough giving an opinion on because I haven't really formulated an opinion. I will say songs 1 and 3 are fire, straight fire out the gate. Also Fall. I'm really in love with Fall. Love that record as well. But we'll get into the whole album. We'll kind of go over it all on Monday, man. I just don't feel comfortable reviewing the whole thing yet because I've only spun it through one time. So I know you probably feel the same way. We already talked about that. But first of all, man, the most underrated podcast coming to you live from Certified Tattoo Studio. Well, not live, but we are broadcasting live, if you will. My homie Dal Palantonio sitting across from me, the most silent man in podcast history, JJ sitting in the corner. And he's actually, if you're watching on YouTube, he's got a new computer sitting there waiting. It just came in. We're going to unbox it. It's fucking dope, man. We souped it all up for video editing, so we're going to get him set up with that today. This man's going to be putting together, he already puts together our podcast, but he's going to be putting together a lot more cool video stuff for us, so we're excited about that. We did have to bump the podcast a day because Dal Palantonio had some scheduling restrictions, some conflict stuff. We each had fantasy drafts this week. Talk about that, man. How did the drafts go?
Oh, man. The drafts were heavy, man, this week.
How many did you have?
Heavy. Let's see. After today, I will be on number 6, man.
Oh, you have one more today?
I have one more.
So I had 5 this week, and then I have one next week. You had 4 this will be the 5th.
5th. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, man. As far as I know nobody cares about my fantasy team. That's the old joke. Like, oh, who's on your fantasy team? No one gives a shit who's on your fantasy team, right? Everyone's got a team. Everyone's got players. Everyone's excited to tell the next man about their fantasy team. But that man listening really doesn't give a fuck. Nope. So most of the time, we'll try to keep it in general. I try to let you know of people I think are maybe going to have a breakout week, some waiver wire wonders, some people I would look to pick up. We'll kind of go in that throughout the season. We'll try not to detail too much of our own personal fantasy teams. Obviously, it's going to come up in conversation, but we'll try not to bore you with our own fantasy team that you don't give a shit about. Speaking of fantasy, DraftKings, I have had a lot of people send me their usernames for DraftKings. If you missed the last episode, we're starting a DraftKings tournament. If that's something you want to be a part of, DM me or email. The email is mostunderratedpodcast@gmail.com. You could DM me or Dal Palantonio on Twitter, Instagram. Just DM me your DraftKings handle so that way I can add you guys to the group. $5 every single week, and we're just going to do Sunday. So just get it to me by like next Saturday. I don't want to be up Sunday morning trying to put in usernames on DraftKings to set up the tournament. I want to have it all ready to go. I got my own fantasy issues to deal with. Let's be real. Totally. So if you guys want to get involved in that, make sure you shoot me the usernames there. Any steals out of your drafts? Anything that you, anyone that you think you got late consistently? Actually, what was your draft? That's one thing I was curious about. Sorry to go a different direction really quick. Yeah. Skirt. Basically, what I was going to ask you is draft strategy. Did you try to, when you're in multiple leagues, obviously you're in 5, I'm in 6. Yeah. Did you try to draft the same team in every league, or did you go different? I'm always curious how people do that.
Yeah, for me, I tried to get some of the most elite people. Similarities, right? I want the elite, because if I'm choosing this guy for 4 leagues and then I'm playing against him in another 2 or 3 leagues, that makes it pretty difficult, right? Yeah. You know, it's hard to cheer on your own team. So yeah, there was a little bit of that concept behind my drafting. Now, did it work out? Yeah, half and half. So, you're
never going to be able to get exactly the same team. Yeah.
There were a couple I was looking at. You know, if you can grab Odell, if you can grab Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I assume he's going to hit that 4,600 passing yards this year. I see a big year for him. And then a couple sleepers, you know, those people who you don't think, you know, are going to do much, but, you know, waiting for injuries to happen because you damn sure know they will, you know, in the NFL. And, next man up. So you kind of have some strategies there as well.
Anybody you targeted late, or anyone that you specifically targeted for sure that you're like, man, I know I want to get this guy, and you reached on him, you took him a little earlier than you should just because you wanted him? Any of those guys?
Well, just because I took Justin Tucker in the second round?
No, you didn't.
Just playing. No, I didn't.
That would have been a shot. We do shots at my draft. If you take a kicker before the 10th, you have to do a shot.
No, I think there might have been a couple of people that I stretched on. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. In 2 leagues, I took Fournette in the first round, and I think Fournette second round for sure. And I even saw him going early in the third. So,
you really loved Fournette too. I remember you were at my
do.
house when we're in a couple different leagues together. One of the drafts we just did together. Dow came over after work. We did the draft.
Right.
Each of us on our phones or laptops or whatever. And you were heavy on Fournette. You liked Fournette.
I really do, man. And I'm not an LSU guy by any means or any stretch. So there's
ankle injury stuff doesn't worry you?
Hey, man, they do call him the glass house at times.
Yeah.
And I do. That is concerning. But guess what? So is Odell. I'm really concerned with Odell. But here in preseason, I've seen nothing but great burst speed, so he's going to be back at it. But yeah, with Fournette, he did me pretty well first part of the season into the middle of the season. Obviously at the end, getting playoff crunch, that kind of stuff, keeping him, and then having some small injuries. But I like Fournette, man. I really do.
Couple guys I'm targeting, and I'm telling you guys to go and get both of these players. Go a wide receiver and a running back. Number 1, Emmanuel Sanders.
Absolutely.
He's going later than Demaryius Thomas, which I don't understand. All
Makes
the
sense.
projections in every single league that I've been in, if you're auto drafting or any of those auto projections, they have Sanders so much lower than Demaryius Thomas. Now, neither of them are high on the wide receiver ranks anyway.
Correct.
But Emmanuel Sanders is that guy, man. He's playing the slot this year, which we haven't seen before. So he's going to be in their Wes Welker style, slot machine style. He's going to be killing it underneath. He has good rapport with Case Keenum. He's had an incredible camp. Emmanuel Sanders is a guy to go and get. Yep. Number 2, for me, it's Lamar Miller. That's a sleeper running back. I told you about him the other night. That's a guy you'll be able to pick up late. He's same thing. He's a little bit delicate. He's not super durable. He's a little bit older.
When it comes to running backs, right?
But he was having a breakout year last year until Deshaun Watson got hurt. Once Deshaun Watson got hurt, you saw the whole team unravel. The whole team fell apart.
Correct.
But Lamar Miller was that dude. He was tearing it up early in the year. Deshaun Watson helps open up those running lanes because of his run-pass threat. Him getting outside the pocket is able to open up those lanes. Also, the screen game for Lamar Miller. You put Deshaun Watson on a rollout, you have him on the run, and you screen it to Lamar Miller underneath, especially in PPR leagues. That's a guy you have to have. Even if it's not PPR, I still think Lamar Miller is a great pickup late. Now, I'm not saying go get him in rounds 1 or 2. Right. I'm saying a little bit later on, he's going to be sitting there. If you weren't able to pick up some of those running backs in the beginning, if you missed out on some of those big names at the beginning, you can wait a little bit. Get some wide receivers in the middle, and then get Lamar Miller later on, 4th, 5th, 6th round, somewhere in there, depending on your draft and how people are drafting.
Totally. I got kind of 2 sleepers, and there's reason behind it. So what about Will Fuller? What's your opinion on him? Because now that you have Deshaun back, right, and you know that you have Hopkins taking most of 80-90% of the catches, what do you think about Will Fuller? And number 2, what about Edelman, picking him up midway late? I know you got him on the sneaks in 2 of our drafts together.
Yep.
And if you don't know, guys, Franchise, he actually drafted either right before me or right after me in the 2 drafts that we're in together. And that guy got him both times on the sneaks, and I think that's a great pickup. Sure, he's gone the first 4 games, via the suspension, but you got Tom Brady, who's still a GOAT. Is still the GOAT when it comes to quarterbacks. So I think those are 2 great picks. What's your opinion on those 2?
Will Fuller worries me a little bit. He's injured right now. I think he's going to be back. I'm not sure if he played last night or not. They said he was questionable. Might have played in the 4th preseason game, but I assume they probably sat him out. He's a starting wide receiver.
Gotcha.
Hopefully he's back for week 1. Anyone opposite DeAndre Hopkins is going to eat, regardless. DeAndre is going to draw coverage. It's similar to an Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster situation in Pittsburgh, which yesterday, for some reason, I drafted both of those guys, just not thinking.
Did you?
I did. I'm going to have to trade Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't need Antonio Brown and Juju.
No, not
so
at all. That's like getting Sterling Shepard.
It was just the best available player.
And
it was one of those best available type things.
Totally.
I couldn't make a decision.
Did you let it auto draft?
Before.
Is that what happened?
Get out of here. Let auto draft. Anyways, so I think it's a situation like that. I do like Will Fuller. I wouldn't go for him super early.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I have him ranked as the 130th player overall. So that's where I feel like he should be selected. If you want to go up and get him somewhere between 110 and 130, you're probably fine. I wouldn't go for him before that. Another guy I see going extremely late. Two other guys actually.
Okay.
Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker. Those are the two starting wide receivers. I picked up Devontae Parker in the 16th round.
16th?
He's a starting wide receiver. I picked him up in the 16th round. In this league, you have to start 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs. There's no flex. So, you're in that league too, Denko's league.
Yeah.
So that's a tougher league. You need to go wide receiver heavy because you have to start 3 wide receivers.
Yep, 2 running backs. That's right.
That's a tough league. And I think in that one there, Devontae Parker was a steal in the 16th. He's a starting wideout.
Yeah.
Another guy that's going really, really late that I've seen, not Kenny Galladay, Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is going late for Dallas. I was able to snag him in somewhere between the 14th and 16th the past couple days in different drafts. That's another guy that's a starting wideout in Dallas. He's going to be there opposite Terrence Williams. Dak Prescott doesn't have a ton of weapons, but he still has Ezekiel Elliott, and that's weapon enough. So Dak Prescott's a guy that I think would be a great – I wouldn't put him out there as my franchise quarterback and try to win the league with him, but he's a great backup option.
Absolutely.
This is a guy that you could thrust in there if your starter gets hurt. He's a guy that has breakout potential, and he's going very late, somewhere between the 12th and 16th rounds.
Well, and it seemed like for Dak last season, at least, I'm basing it off of that, Cole Beasley and Dak had a pretty good relationship, it seemed like. And now that you have Dez out of there, not even signed quite yet. So is that a great pickup maybe in the 12th, 13th, 14th round as well? But we don't need to get into that. But Cole Beasley and Dak had some great
chemistry,
great success last year.
Yep. And Dak took a little bit of a step back last year, so I get it. That's why he's falling out of the top 10 rounds.
Yeah.
You know, he's, like I said, he's going between 12 and 16, depending on where you're drafting. I was able to pick him up in the majority of my leagues. Dak Prescott, the Dak up, if you will.
The Dak up.
He's my backup quarterback in pretty much every league, just because he's a guy that could go from a backup to being better than a starter. You know, if you got Breeze, if you've got Matt Ryan, if you got some of these guys that are kind of on the fringe, not necessarily Breeze, Matt Ryan more, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. If you got stuck with one of those kind of quarterbacks that are kind of fringe, mid-range, you don't know how they're going to do, Dak Prescott is a great option as a backup because he could end up being your starter and outshining any of those 3 guys.
Totally.
So that's the direction I would go. Anything more on fantasy, man? Anything more you want to wrap up? I know, like I said, we had to bump the podcast a week, so this will be finding you on Saturday instead of the normal Friday. And we'll do that. I mean, stuff's going to happen. Life's going to happen week to week. We're not going to kill ourselves to try to get it up on Friday. If stuff's going on, we have to bump it a day. It is what it is.
We'll still get you your content, though.
Exactly. Still get you all that content. So good on the fantasy football stuff. Sticking with football, did you see Hard Knocks this week?
I did. We actually watched it together after our draft, man.
I totally forgot about that.
I was right there with you.
You gave me if you saw my Snapchat or Instagram, Dallas brought over the Supreme Bouncy Ball, which I said he gave for my birthday. He did not actually give that for my birthday. I was trying to give him a little shine, but no, he didn't give me any of that shit. He didn't give me any Supreme stuff, but the Supreme Bouncy Ball, pretty cool.
Yeah.
We watched Hard Knocks. Pretty good episode. They kind of did. I'm never a huge fan of the 4th episode because they do a lot of flashbacks to the beginning of camp. It seems kind of like they're filling time. It's just not as, I don't know, there's not as much content, I guess, or as much stuff. So they're filling. I did think the rookie voiceover stuff and the rookie skits were classic. Yeah. The Jarvis Landry one's the one that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
But for me, the Baker Mayfield.
You like the Baker?
Doing Jimmy Haslam. Oh, my gosh. Doing the owner of the Cleveland Browns with the gum.
Yeah. How many pieces of gum does that
I was dying.
Chew. Yeah,
I was dying.
Yeah.
That was probably the highlight of the episode for me.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was hilarious. I guess behind the scenes, Jim Haslam did not think it was that funny. I'm not sure if he took like serious offense to it, but I think he took a little bit of offense. Like, I guess he just wasn't that pumped. Right. But then here, the real highlight of the episode, as far as news goes, Michael Kendricks. Michael Kendricks is a linebacker that came from the Philadelphia Eagles, won a Super Bowl with them last year. comes in, joins the Cleveland Browns, trying to bolster that defense. That defense is talented already. That's another defense. I would not sleep on those guys. They're ranked dead last or near dead last.
Yeah.
They're not getting drafted in pretty much any draft. I would keep an eye on that Cleveland defense. If you only drafted one defense and you want to stash one, that Cleveland Browns defense, that might be one to go for. If the offense can keep them off the field.
Yeah.
If the offense can get it going.
Yeah, get rid of your second punter.
Right. Punter.
Get rid of your second punter kicker.
You're drafting
you know
punters? What league are you in? You're actually drafting punters in your league.
Get rid of the kickers, yeah, man. And pull up Cleveland's D.
Yeah,
that's a sleeper.
That's a sneaky D. So anyway, Michael Kendricks joining that defense. They ask him to come into the meeting room and stand in front of the whole team and go over the tendencies of the Eagles. And man, I wish we had that. I wish we had our sound shit working. I would like to throw that clip in, but basically he breaks down the details about Nick Foles, how he throws, how he drops the ball in over the top, kind of teardrop style. He talked about the offensive line. He talked about guys that are a little bit weak. They're big. They're hard to get around. But, yeah, different tendencies, different things like that. And he was spot on all this stuff. You saw the preseason game.
He was.
They highlighted all the things that he was talking about. And he sounded like a very, very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
It was impressive to me that he was able to just get up there with a couple minutes of prep and rattle off these things in memory recall. I can't even recall everything that happened on the show when we just watched it the other night.
Totally.
This man can recall tendencies of former players on sides of the ball.
Oof.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So Michael Kendricks, he goes over everything that the Eagles used to do.
Right.
They play against them in preseason. We talked about it. They kind of got beat up. We talked about that the last episode. Quarterbacks kind of got beat up. It was a pretty physical game. But then the next day, a news story comes down on the waiver, or I mean the news wire comes on my phone and everything. Lance Kendricks busted for insider trading, charged. Read the whole statement. Very sorry. Says he'll pay whatever consequences, all that stuff, and then he's cut a little bit shortly after.
Released by the Browns shortly after.
Yep. So what do you make of this situation? Are you surprised by it? Because we don't really see a lot of white-collar crimes in the NFL. Let's be real. This is Martha Stewart type of shit.
Yeah, that's an odd one for me. So, what I read a little bit about it was, he trusted some people, that were in his group to invest or whatever. And long story short, it kind of came to bite him in the ass. So, you got to trust the people that are around you at all times if you can. When you have that much money and you have that much clout, you got a lot of people, trying to take a lot of that and invest. And, hey, this is an investment opportunity. Come on, join this. So, I think he probably got a little involved with that, but he seems like a pretty smart guy. But, the league and the Browns obviously wanted to say, hey, we're not dealing with this bullshit, and we're going to make an example of him. And I think that's what it is.
Do you think they could have – they're trying to get ahead of the whole thing by cutting him. You think they could have waited? And he's obviously being charged. He's kind of admitting wrongdoing, so he's going to be charged. It's not like he's not going to be found not guilty.
Yeah, he said he is, he's doing everything he needs to do with all the investigations, and he's definitely, not trying to hide anything and being totally open about the whole thing. So,
do you think that they could have just waited for this to play out with the system, or they just wanted to get ahead of it?
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get ahead of it, and I think I don't know if it's more of a league thing or the Browns thing, because I know the Browns, they had what was his name, Callaway? The
Antonio Callaway got busted with the weed.
With the weed, got pulled over. So I know they've had some distractions. So is it a Browns thing or is it a league thing? What's your opinion on that? Because I think it's a Browns thing personally. I don't know if it's like, hey, we're trying to keep this league clean. We're not trying to have anything else hampering it. The anthem policies, all this different stuff. I think it's more of a Browns thing.
I agree. It's definitely inside. The league's not mandating it.
Yeah.
Because the league doesn't usually take action until someone is found guilty.
Right.
Now, they didn't really have a policy before. It was kind of all over the place. I think the Ray Rice case kind of solidified that. They came out with a ruling on the Ray Rice case way premature before the video or any of that stuff came out. They suspended him 3 games. Then all of a sudden the video came out and now it's worse. I don't understand why you need video to make it worse. If it's domestic violence, it's domestic violence. If someone does bad, they're doing bad.
Correct.
If you see it on video, yes, naturally it makes it worse in our mind, but it shouldn't make the punishment worse. It should be the same punishment regardless of video or non-video. Right. You've seen a ton of players before that happened. That was a ton of players that got suspended 1 game for domestic violence charge. Maybe they just got fined. They didn't get anything. They didn't take it as serious as they do now. Not saying this is domestic violence. Obviously, this is white-collar crime. This is something that isn't super prevalent, but I don't think the NFL is going to take a stance as far as a suspension until he's proven guilty, sentenced to jail time, whatever the situation, however it winds up.
Yeah, I think it's just going to take a while for all this thing to kind of come to fruition. But at the end of the day, it sounds like Michael Kendricks is likely to serve 8 to 12 months in prison for insider trading. So I don't think the Browns want to wait and deal with that as that comes. And then also, I was trying to think, 8 to 12 months. But yeah, I mean, he obviously admitted his, apology and came out with that. He talked about, I'd like to apologize. 4 years ago, I participated in insider trading, deeply regret it. So he came out with his whole apology, and that's all good. But I think that 8 to 12 months, I think it's probably going to be reduced. I'm sure, house arrest, community service, all of those things are going to apply. But I think the Browns just don't want to deal with it.
Jail time?
Yeah, that's what it says.
How much?
Serve 8 to 12 months in prison for insider trading, but advisory sentence would likely be higher but reduced by split sentence, house arrest, community service, etc.
That's what I was going to say.
So,
I mean, how much actual jail
time is he going to serve?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably not much. I mean, if any, he might get off on house arrest and might be able to get away with that.
First-time offender, if he doesn't have a backlog of things that, events that have taken place in the past, negative, probably be pretty minor.
In the statement, he said, although I did not take any profits for myself, I'm committed to repaying all the funds gained illegally and accept my consequences of my actions. So do you think that helps him at all, that he didn't take any of these profits, that he wasn't trying to hide the money, anything like that? Do you think all that saying, hey, I'm guilty, I messed up, all that stuff's going to help him?
I think it will a little bit, and maybe reduce any type of, time or whatever it is, fines. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he did it. And, admitting it is half the battle for sure. So I'm sure they'll probably take that into consideration, and I would just take it that far.
That is, so that's the biggest story from the Hard Knocks stuff. That kind of, anything more you want to say on Hard Knocks? I don't think there was anything else really that memorable. No. Nothing I can
Last episode this upcoming week, yeah.
Series finale. It's only 5 weeks long. Yeah. This will be it. This is going to be cut week. I like how the NFL has gone from having multiple cuts throughout training camp to just one cut now. Right. There's just one cut throughout at the end of training camp. That's it. It cuts it down from 90 to 53. These are the guys that make the 53-man roster. I think they only dress 45 guys on game day. I think they sit 8. They put 8 guys on practice squad, and there's only 45 guys suited on game day. That's how it works. So that's kind of how that will shake out with NFL regular season getting underway.
With the Browns on Hard Knocks, we've talked about these 3 major guys they've spent a lot of time filming, right?
Devin Kajus,
yeah. So Devin Kajus, right? What's your opinion on who do you think is going to make the cuts? Do you have any?
Kajus played a ton last night. Did you watch any of the preseason games last night?
I didn't watch a lot last night just because I got off late. That whole thing had 2 drafts straight in a row. So I watched more U.S. Open.
Bronco game was on late. That was cool. It was 8 p.m. start for us.
You know what? And Paxton, again, against a second, third string, looked great. His arm looked great. Had a couple TDs. Even ran one in, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. But, yeah.
I honestly, I could probably speak more to the Broncos cuts as far as who I think is going to make the team and not. I can't speak to the Browns as much.
Right.
Only thing I can say, what I was going to say is I did see the Browns game last night. Devin Kajus played a ton. For me, that doesn't seem like he's going to make the team. If they're playing him a lot in the 4th preseason game, usually some of those guys are fighting for jobs, fighting for roster spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure. If they don't have a backup, I think he'd be good behind David Njoku, but I'm not sure if they have a backup. I'm not that deep into the Browns depth chart. All I've been doing is watching Hard Knocks. I'm not going to watch Hard Knocks and claim to be an expert on the team. I honestly have no idea.
Totally. Because up until Hard Knocks, I didn't even know about the Browns.
Right.
I just knew they were the dog shit versus the dog pound, right?
Cleveland's
going to hate us again. There we go. Trolls, let's get it.
So, that kind of wraps up that there. Shifting gears a little bit from the NFL, I think we should jump into the Kylie Jenner stuff with Adidas, and then we can kind of go into sneakers from there. Tell me about that. Tell me what you know on that situation.
So, yeah, it was just a couple days ago. Kylie actually came out on her Instagram, I believe, and announced her being an ambassador for Adidas. I'd like to say it's no shock. Previously, she was an ambassador for Puma, right? Did that Puma campaign, and did that help Puma? Did it not? I don't know. I don't follow Puma. Not a fan.
Right.
Okay.
You didn't want to get the shoes with the little nerds in the heel?
The little nerds in the heel? No, man. Those little pebbles. What the hell
it was
are
nerds.
those?
They were nerds.
It's the new Boost. It's the Fruity Pebble Boost. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is.
I think they're nerds. They look like a tube full of nerds
Dude,
to me.
Look like them shoes got some genital wart shoes.
You didn't want those?
Are those the Ginny wart shoes?
No, that's the new Element 87s.
Oh,
or was it the Epic Reacts with those pods?
Oh yeah, the Element 87s. Yeah, with the pods.
wart pods all over them.
I got you. The wart pods. Yeah.
No, but so she joined the Adidas team.
Correct.
I'm not that familiar with the Jenners and the Kardashians. I don't keep up enough, ironically. Yeah, you see what I did there?
I see the pun.
The is that the chick that just hit the $1 billion in modeling, or is it the other one?
Yeah. So yeah, Kylie's the youngest. Yeah, she's the new
Kylie's
Forbes
the one that joined Adidas. She hit the
woman. Yeah.
Okay, Kendall's the other one. Okay.
Yeah, Kendall's the slender one, the tall, slender, skinny model.
So she's a model as well, but she's not as well published as Kylie. She's not making that kind of bread.
Well, Kylie has the makeup company.
Oh,
Kylie
gotcha.
She's the investor. She's all this crazy stuff. Yeah, man. So I don't know much more than that either.
Do you think this is a good signing for Adidas? Do you think this is going to push the direction, keeping it all in the Kardashian West Jenner gene pool family?
You know what, man? Here's the deal. I'm not a fan of the Jenners and the Kardashians. I don't watch that shit. It's not for me. I don't give a shit. Plus, they're all plastic, man. They all look so weird to me. Their bodies just don't look right. So for me, I'm not a big fan. I don't pay too much attention. But I'll tell you, it is a one family wrecking crew. There's no doubt. We got Kanye, with the whole Yeezy stuff. So Kim's affiliated with it. She wears a lot of his Yeezy, clothing line. Big advocates for him. And then you have Kendall, who last year, it was 2017 when she became the ambassador and an ambassador for Adidas, and now Kylie. I think it's funny though because Kylie, her not husband, a lot of people call him husband, but Travis Scott, he is one of the biggest Nike ambassadors right now, and his shoes are flying off retail and resale. All the Travis Scott shoes, whether it's the Air Force Ones, whether it's the Travis Scott 4s, and he's also got leaked ones, the purple colorway of the 4s coming out possibly, a tan khaki version. So I think it's interesting. You have split families now, but
was there any report on the amount of money she got? Did you see any numbers? Did you see any length of time with the contract? Anything like that?
I saw neither of those two.
Nothing.
So
all we have is a word that she has signed with Adidas, but we have no terms. For me, that's always shaky. I like to see terms, whether it's a sports contract or a modeling contract or something of this, someone signs as a brand ambassador. I like to see terms. That lets me know how serious the company is as far as their push. It lets me know how serious the person is that signed with them, how much they love the brand versus how much they're just making from the brand. Because we've seen a lot that these brands throw a ton of money at a celebrity and their career with that brand is short-lived because the celebrity's not into it. They don't really wear that stuff. You remember a few years ago, this kind of sparks a memory in my brain. LeBron James, you remember he was on the Samsung Galaxy commercials. It was Galaxy, it was all this stuff with Samsung for a while, and he was caught using an iPhone. This is quite a while back. This is maybe 2012, 11, 12, when the Galaxy stuff was really, they were starting to just drop one a year like the iPhone, around the 3, 4, 5.
Versus now every 6 to 8 months.
Right.
Yeah. Totally.
So well, no. They dropped I feel like they dropped more Galaxies before that. Then they just started to drop a flagship device once a year to kind of match Apple.
Gotcha.
And that started around 2011, 12. I feel like around the Galaxy 3, 4.
Yeah.
They started to just consistently bang them out like that. Well, anyway, LeBron was an ambassador for I think it was the Note. I remember him using a Note and shit in his commercial. He was caught using an iPhone, and Samsung was obviously not too happy about it. And as we know, shortly after that, he ended his partnership with Samsung, and he went with, he hasn't really done Apple commercials, but he's done a lot of Beats Audio. Yeah. Beats Audio, now owned by Apple. So that's a situation where I think he kind of decided, all right, I'm just getting a bag here. Like, I'm just stealing money from this company. I obviously don't like the product more than I like my iPhone. I don't like it as much as I like my iPhone because he's obviously still using an iPhone. So I wonder if this is a scenario like that. I don't think this is a scenario like that. Sorry, I worded that wrong. I don't think this is that kind of a scenario because of how hot Adidas is right now, plus her affiliation with Kanye. But I'm saying in general, when I don't see terms, when I don't see a contract or a length of time or amount of money, it makes me question things
question
a
the
little bit.
seriousness of it.
I do.
How,
I question how into it they are, and I question how into it the brand is. Are they really going to give her a big push? Are they going to put these marketing dollars behind her? I think they will with this situation because she's already there. She's built up an empire way before Adidas. She's not using Adidas as a launching pad.
Totally. Well, and did you see the shoe that she actually had on with this whole campaign? Are you familiar with that shoe? So it's
I'm looking at it right now, but I have no idea what that is. It looks like a Balenciaga.
Correct. So
mixed with a young one.
Yeah, well, I think more of the young one. So yeah, shout outs to the young one. I love that silhouette. I've got 2 pairs, but it's actually a campaign for the Adidas original Falcon sneaker. So it's inspired obviously by the 90s. You know, it's bold, it's unapologetic DNA is at the core of today's Falcon. Reflects the confident mindset of the new generation of female creative consumers. So that's kind of the whole campaign. That's where they're coming from. Obviously, you're going to see some of the Falcon and the colorways coming out this next week, I believe. But that's the shoe. I'm not a big fan of it. You know, I love Boost. Boost is life for us. But staying with the trend right now, which is dad shoes.
I can't do it. I can't do it. This girl here that works here at the shop, she was wearing the Supermoon Desert Rats yesterday.
Oh, I can't. I don't like those.
She was over at the gas station. I'm not joking you. This is a true story. This old man, probably in his 70s, said, I like those.
Really?
I like those shoes. What are those? Came up to her. So it just promotes the theory of this dad shoe. Fuck the dad shoe. These are grandpa shoes now. The grandpas are asking what kind of shoes these are. Those look comfortable. What are those? When that starts happening, I'm out. I just can't.
You can't do that?
No, I don't. I'm not to say I don't jump on any waves ever, but this is a wave I just can't.
Just can't do. And I know you've bought a couple pairs and obviously sold them.
Got rid of them.
You wore the blush.
I tried. I didn't want to be a dick and be like, I've always, let me see what this is about. Let me jump in here. No. Just can't do it. The Desert Rats couldn't do it. Young Ones couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, to me, those 500s,
all this
those
stuff.
Blush or Supermoons, whatever, those 500s, they look like a rhinoceros foot, man, on the bottom side.
You still have yours or no?
No, man.
No,
got rid of all of them.
Which dad shoes do you like then?
So Young Ones. We talked about that, right? I've got 2 pairs of those. That's kind of my dad's shoe. Right now, I'm wearing actually the gray Calabasas.
I saw that.
So I like the power phases. So I've got those on now. What do you got on feet?
Georgetown 11 lows today.
All right.
Matching the brand new certified tattoo Corona collab tee that's dropping today. Super sick.
Oh, that's just because you're that old Nike Jordan head. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's what they say. So yeah, I think that's all I got. I would share. There was a tweet from Kanye. I believe this was February of 2016, and it was deleted, obviously. But I find this interesting. So 1,000%. There will never be a Kylie Puma anything. That's on my family. 1,000% Kylie is on Yeezy team. Puma, we gonna give you your measly $1 million back. Never try to divide the family. West said in a since deleted tweet from February of 2016.
No way.
Yeah, so I kind of found that
that's
out.
a hot minute ago.
Yeah.
February of 2016. So this is over 2 years later. This is basically 2.5 years later that she signed with Adidas.
And roughly a year after Kanye joined the Yeezy team. Am I correct on that? 2015? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, wait. No. I think the very first Yeezys dropped in 14, dude.
Are they?
I'm pretty sure the Pirate Blacks dropped in November of 14. Maybe it was November of 15. Maybe I'm tripping.
You might be tripping a little bit. We can fact check that. But what do you think about that tweet?
I think it's interesting that it took so long for her to join Team Adidas when he took such a hard stance on that and then deleted the tweet, which is kind of, I guess if it deletes the tweet, whatever, it's not that weird. I do think it's weird that he took such a hard stance on it, and it took so long to get the deal done, and especially she's family. Was that Adidas' side? Was that on Adidas' side? Was that on her side? That took forever to kind of get that deal done.
Right.
And when now is this shoe that she's wearing, the Falcon, what did you call it? Whatever it was called?
Yeah, just the Falcon. Yep.
Is that women's only? Is that a women's silhouette? Is that men's also?
I think it's mostly women's, but for me, who is a size 10.5 true to size, I can probably get a size 12 in women's if they make them that big. I'm sure they will, but I think it's mostly a women's silhouette.
Gotcha. We're gonna get JJ on the the most silent man in podcast history. He's going to be joining the podcast soon. I'm going to have him just read off a couple of news stories. I'm going to do research shit like this. We don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
JJ can be looking it up. Boom. Be able to pipe in. Oh, hey guys. Actually, Pirate Black was November of 2014.
Well, and
Franchise
it looks like to me the June 27th, 2015, the Yeezy Boost 350 was made available, and then on August 22nd, 2015, the all black version. So the
Okay, so
Pirate Black.
it was 15.
It was 15.
So he probably signed in 14.
Yeah, putting stuff out 15.
Putting stuff out 15. Yep. And then he did that tweet in 16. And then 2 years later,
here we are.
Little sister, I guess, I don't even know, is it sister-in-law maybe? Sister-in-law joins the, I don't know, you know, I don't have kids. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't know what relations people are.
Right.
But she joins the team there. Anything more on Jenner or that situation before we move on to the new Yeezy release?
That's about all I got.
Cool. New Yeezys coming out. Yeezy 350s, the glow-in-the-darks. If you guys have not seen the photos of them, I mean, you can just search Yeezy glow-in-the-dark or 350, something like that.
Or go to Kanye's tweet. He tweeted out, can't wait for these glow-in-the-dark 350s. So it looks like, obviously, just a neon green, and then you also have a neon mango colored? What color would you call that?
Some people are calling it pink. Some people are calling it mango. Some people are calling it peach. I've seen multiple reports of different names, what colors that people are trying to decipher, but they didn't put out any photos of the shoe, what it looks like without it glowing, right?
No. Yeah, I haven't.
You haven't seen any of that?
No, I haven't seen any.
If someone, if I'm wrong on that, if we're wrong on this shit, I mean, hit me up with the facts. I don't know. I just have not seen what they look like. I'm curious to see, are they an all white shoe? Is it a cream shoe? Is it more look like the Butters? What do they look like before? Because that's the glow in the dark aspect is cool, but that's going to be 1% of the time, less than 1% of the time.
Right.
The rest of the time, how you're going to see the shoe in the light is how the shoe is going to be seen. You know, unless you're at a haunted house, you're at a movie theater, I don't really see where the glow in the dark aspect is going to occur or matter.
And here's something funny with this whole glow-in-the-dark concept. So if you guys are all familiar with Fake Education, he now goes by this Project 1 of 1. So what he's doing now is, you know, making his kind of own clothing stuff. And,
like mashups?
Yeah,
and stuff?
mashups, custom clothing, custom shirts, custom whatever button-ups. So he actually had a pair of the Zebras, or the Yebras, whatever you call them. Yeah, the yellow ones, right? The frozen yellows.
Frozen yellows.
He had a pair of those, and he was able to make those and customize those to glow in the dark. So he's been flaunting those the last 24 hours on his gram. So I guess maybe in celebration for this upcoming release, but he turned his Yebras into glow in the dark.
Those bright yellow ones?
Yeah.
What, he just sprayed some shit on them?
Probably just sprayed some shit on them. But yeah, the Yebras, he shows them in their original colorway, and then he shuts off all the lights and you know, gives us some glow in the dark Yebras.
For me, it doesn't look like that's anything that fresh or mind-blowing. The shoe is so bright anyway, It looks like it should glow in the dark. Like, it doesn't look like this is a mind-blowing concept. Then he walks into the dark, and they glow the exact same color, or like a glow-in-the-dark color.
Yeah.
The reason these new 350s are dope is because they kind of glow in different colors than traditional glow-in-the-dark shit, right?
Oh, especially the peach, mango, pinks, whatever.
Right.
Those I would be interested in.
Those,
for
that's
sure.
what I'm saying. It's something different. That's really not to be a hater, but
right.
I don't know. I followed him. I liked more when he was doing the Fake Education stuff.
Totally.
It was super helpful to the sneaker community. I don't know what the reason he stopped. I don't know why he deleted everything. I don't know why he went a different direction.
Yeah.
I'm assuming his page,
like his page got hacked. There was something with that, and then he got it back.
That's the story we're telling?
Yeah. So it sounded like his original Fake Education got hacked or something, and then there was this time
I remember
where
when my page got hacked.
Yeah, where he was trying to get it back.
No, I don't. I remember when I said my page got hacked and it didn't get hacked. His page didn't get fucking hacked. Stop messing around. So he still has the 600,000 some odd followers, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Maybe he was just sick of the lane. Maybe he was over the lane. He was over the fakes versus real, all this bullshit. I really think he did a good job of helping out the sneaker community. The thing I didn't like about the page is he always got the absolute worst fakes.
Yeah.
They were the biggest
Dog
piece
shit.
of shit fakes. And I was like, man, these are the worst fakes on the market, and you're comparing them to retail. Like, while it's cool and you're showing some differences, get some top quality shit, man. Get some really good fakes. That's what I tried to do when I did the fake versus real on the UNC Off-Whites. We want to start doing more of those videos. We've gotten a lot of requests from people for legit checks, for doing more real versus fake, sending us different sneakers to try to do it with. So I think we're going to start doing more of that. We're going to kind of open up that lane, especially since he's closed that lane. That'll kind of leave the opportunity for us. We can start helping people out, doing more real versus fake, things like that on the channel. That's something I want to definitely go into. And we know with V2s, they're getting insanely hard to authenticate.
So close. Yeah,
V2s are just, that's the closest shoe in my opinion.
Well, and I even think you go back to the Off-Whites, the UNC ones, man, I have seen some super high quality.
We were looking at some photos the other night. People were sending me photos of shoes. And we were telling the guy, like, hey, man, pictures are just tough. Yeah. Like, pictures are hard. The two things that I could really, really figure out from my pairs that I could see from pictures without being able to hold them in hand was that top cuff, how it kind of had the little gap along the top cuff, and then the shoelaces. Shoelaces were
usually
kind of
a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Those were the two main things. Other than that, if you don't send me photos of those, it's very, very hard. On the really bad ones, the blue is a different shade. We talked about that.
Lighter, darker, whatever it is in comparison. And then you also have, some of the stitching if you really want to get really, really detailed. But, some of the stitching's not going to be the same on a regular retail pair. So stitching.
Are you feeling any of the stuff he's doing on there? Are you feeling any of that clothing or any of that gear? Yeah,
but I'm not loud with my clothing. I'm loud with my shoes, just like you. And I think you're even over the top. From what I am, I'm the most neutral guy, but I like wearing new models and I like being different with that. But from a clothing aspect, which is what he's doing, he even made a couch.
A what?
He customized a couch, man.
Was it off the set of That 70s Show? Because that's the only way I'm buying it. What do you mean a couch?
It was some sort of denim couch, if I remember. I can try to pull it up, but
yeah, man, please do.
Yeah, here it is.
Let me see this thing.
You got like tie-dyed. It looked like Astro World tie-dyed, weird denim grossness to me.
Dude, honestly, like the couch, it looks weird.
Man, I buy a couch for comfort.
But this is actually like a pretty cool art piece, man. The way that he was able to take the different legs of jeans and put them across the bottom.
Right.
That's actually pretty sick to me. Like, it took some time. It took some thought. This might be one of the better pieces that I've seen on his page.
You know what'd be dope about those pockets,
I was just talking shit, but looking at this, it's actually...
you know what'd be dope about that? So if you use the couch, you and your lady, want to get down Julie Brown, you know what I'm saying? You got condoms that you can put in those pockets.
Right.
You got lubes.
Dog, you're having a house party. My college kids, you having a house party. You just, throw some weed in there, throw some condoms, throw some change. Maybe somebody need to order a pizza, find a 20 in there, a little scavenger hunt in this couch. The sides and the back look like they have the front sides of jeans, so they have the front pockets.
Right.
And then the front of the couch, I guess it's the front, and then one of the other sides have the back pockets. They're all Levi's. The pockets don't appear to be sewn shut, so it looks like you could stash shit.
You know what? If they're not sewn shut, I'm interested.
That's kind of sick, dude. I'm not going to lie. Like, when you were telling me about it, I was expecting to see some trash.
Yeah.
It does kind of look like Trastro World. I get it. Like a little
Trastro World.
Trastro World. Yeah, a little Travis Scott. Tough to say there. It does kind of look like that. Don't get me wrong. But after seeing it, it's a pretty dope art piece. Yeah. Like, it's an artsy thing. It's not made to be used as a real couch, obviously. Yeah. Laying on that denim on Sunday all day for 8 hours watching Red Zone's probably not going to be that comfortable.
Imagine, those rivets or whatever they are that get you in the head, getting you in the temples.
Digging in, yep.
I'll pass.
Yep. I know this wasn't on the rundown as far as what we were going to talk about, but I wanted to ask you, what about those new, because you're the Presto guy.
Oh, what do you got
Dude,
for
what
me?
About those new Prestos? Are you feeling those? The
acronyms?
The acronyms, what is it? Presto Corporation, Infinite Human Potential. Have you seen that on Sneakers app? It's like kind of like an AI, robot type of rollout. What it reminds
me of, the movie RoboCop.
Yes.
You familiar with RoboCop?
Totally.
That font, that look, 80s, that kind of
totally
deal.
Does.
So the marketing is cool because I'm an 80s cat.
Dude,
right?
It's got me interested. And I don't fuck with Prestos like that.
I was born in 82. So here's the deal. I do like Prestos, right? We know that. We've talked about the Off-White. We've talked about me rocking Prestos before Boost because that's what I thought was most comfortable.
Yep.
So acronyms, always hyped, right? The acronym just dropped their VaporMax collab with John Mayer signing onto that. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. So yes, I do like acronym as a company. I do like Prestos. These colorways are a little bit over the top for me.
Dude, that
they
one
look
right
like
there,
you for sure.
That one right there with the solar yellow
But I could rock those.
Bro.
That would be the easiest color for me to rock.
Bro.
But,
are those not flames right now?
But some of these colors are just a little bit much for me. Like, what about the black and... Because the other one's like a Raiders color, it looks like to me. This black
I'm not
and
feeling that one.
silverish gray.
Not feeling that one.
But that one that you just showed...
What about this one? Too Wild?
That's the
acronym
that's the
one.
OG.
Is this one...
That's the OG colorway. So that's giving you the history on the Prestos.
Do all these drop the same day? Have you seen... I'm seeing 920 on them.
Well, Sneakers app, yeah. I believe it's 3 pairs or 3 colorways on 920.
Yeah, okay.
Is what it looks like to me.
That
So,
one there, I think is pretty sick.
That one's a little loud for me. I like it, but I would keep that dead stock, not to resell it, but that would be my collector's piece.
That gives me a nice watermelon vibe in the toe box.
Totally.
If I had to change the color up top, I would have made this solar yellow as well, but they already did that on the other pair. So I'm not a huge fan of that blue. I'm not in love with it, but man, that is a dope shoe. I'm actually really, really curious to put these on feet. How do you think these are going to sell? They're gonna sit. They're gonna sell out.
Absolutely, no. They will sell out 100%. And I think people are hating on the colorways, but we look at the Just Dons when those released.
Yeah.
The first colorways sold the hell out. People were surprised. People aren't going to be surprised when these sell out, but they will definitely sell out. 100%.
Yeah, let's definitely put all those colors up on the screen if we haven't already for the YouTube audience.
There's
See,
another
that's
neutral
too
colorway.
plain
It's
for me.
too neutral. I
Too
don't
plain.
like it too, and it reminds me of the Raiders color with the black and kind of the silver gray, some white in there. That says Raider Nation to me. I'm not interested in those.
And they're marketing this as the Air Presto Mid Utility, so more of kind of winter. But for me, they look like they would go better with shorts. Just looking at the photos, because there's no tongue. Right. So any jeans you wear, unless they're ridiculously skinny jeans
or joggers,
they're going to go down over the shoe and almost look like dad jeans on the shoe. Even when you're not wearing dad jeans, they're just going to kind of look weird. That's what I see from photos.
But what if you unzip that?
That's what I'm wondering.
And have that kind of...
How loose is it, though?
Yeah.
We talked about unzipping the... remember when the Air Force Ones came out? They started doing the Air Force Ones. I can't even remember the model now. Damn it. Those Air Force Ones that have the zippers on the side that kind of look like... What are those called?
Didn't you
I had
buy
a pair, damn it. Yes.
The Special Forces.
Special Forces.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jeez, not the super high ones,
right,
but the mid ones.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I thought you would just be able to unzip them, kind of pull the flap forward and rock them that way.
Didn't you take them back a week, maybe even less than a week later?
Yep.
Yeah.
Reviewed them. Thought they were cool. Wasn't completely over them. But after wearing them a couple times, they just were not comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't like the comfort. I didn't like the fact that when you did unzip them, they flopped around. You couldn't really wear them unzipped.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with this point. I'm curious to see if these are the same way. You unzip them a little bit, and it just ruins the shoe. It ruins the way the shoe's made to be worn, which I get it. Maybe they're made to be zipped all the way up. They're not made, Nike doesn't give a shit about your style. Right. You know what I mean? Stylistically, they might not be the best sneaker, but I'm still curious. I'm still curious about messing with the zipper, seeing how the feel and the fit is. And also, I want to see those colorways in hand, man. I want to try them out with a couple of different pairs of jeans, joggers, shorts, see how they look. Like the Flyknit 270s, for example. Thought they would have been sick. I was a big fan of the original 270s. Thought the Flyknit ones would be dope. Put them on. Terrible. Hated them. Looked awful. Looked awful with shorts. Looked awful with jeans. They just looked bad for me. Wasn't a fan of the Flyknit 270s. This could go either way, but I'm curious. I'm into it. You got my ear, Nike. Yeah. Sneakers app, you've got me. You've got me paying attention to 920, waiting for the drop. You think those are going to be available locally at all?
Locally, I don't know. I know Bait down here has a pretty good contract now with Nike, and they just got their Jordan contract, which was weird. That took them a little while because I thought they were one and the same, but they're not.
Yeah.
I believe they'll probably do a raffle, and will that raffle be in store, where you have to go in, get your ticket, and then they're shipped to you? That's probably what it's going to be. So I don't know that they'll be in store on release day.
Okay.
That's kind of what I figure.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure.
We're going to hit up some plugs, man. We're going to have to get some hookups.
Because here's the deal: you're definitely going to take an L on Sneakers app, just like me.
Of course.
You know, the bots will still eat those up, no big deal. So if you're really wanting them, maybe get an add to cart service if you're down. But I think it's a great shoe. I will get it. I'll probably end up paying resale.
That's the thing I hate about these new silhouettes is I just want to try the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like just let me go into a store and let me make the decision on whether I want to buy it. Don't make me make the decision off the app based on hype. Let me go in and put the thing on. Let me walk around the store for a minute. Let me see how it looks, man. Now I have to buy this thing, try to get lucky online, try to go into a store, win a raffle, take it home, then go all the way back and return it just to find out I don't like it. That's too much for me.
Totally.
It's too much. I just want to be able to walk into the store, buy the shoe. But all you hype beast motherfuckers that don't want the shit anyway, ruining it for me.
Trying to sell them, they don't care.
God, killing me.
You know, love the.
I'm not over here complaining about resellers. I'm being selfish as fuck. I just want to try the shoe on.
Yeah, love the business model, but you're taking all the fun out from anybody who would just maybe just want to see what the shoe's all about.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Sticking in sneakers. Let's see. NBA. Let's go into that. Let's go into the, tell me about them removing the color restrictions on footwear.
Yeah, I kind of like it. So
I'm honestly not. I didn't even know this was still a thing. I thought they had removed this years ago. If I'm being dead honest with you, it's never something I thought about. I never heard of a player getting fined for it in the past few years. I've never heard of anyone having to go change shoes. This is something I thought was gone long ago. Like when I saw this come across my Twitter, I was like, what? This is still a thing? I mean, I guess I'm the idiot.
What are we in? The 40s here? The 50s?
Exactly. I
What's
mean,
going on?
I guess I'm just out of touch.
Right, totally. So, yeah, for the first time in league history, the NBA will allow players to wear sneakers of any color at any point during the upcoming season, and that's league sources confirmed. So the rule change is part of NBA's ongoing effort to allow its players to be expressive on the court, which I get, right? These whole movements, right? You have the Me Too movement. You have all these different movements, you know, the anthem stuff, you know, and people really trying to be able to express themselves. I mean, look at the LGBT movement, right? This is great. So the transgenders, all this, you know, I think this is just kind of one of those things yet again to kind of get away policies that were huge years ago, but don't need to be anymore.
All due respect to Adam Silver, I think Adam Silver is the best commissioner in our four major sports right now. I think he's better than anyone else doing it, but this has been like it's long overdue. I'm dead serious. I thought this probably went out when Jordan had the band
with
thing.
the
I didn't know
Breads?
this. Yeah, I thought this went out maybe a couple years in the late 80s.
Right.
They're allowing nicknames on the back of jerseys. They're doing those ugly long sleeve jersey, like weird t-shirt. Maybe not long sleeve, but those weird like t-shirt jersey.
Yeah. And then J.R. Smith can wear a Supreme elbow, whatever those things, stretchy elbow things.
PJ Tucker's out there balling in Red Octobers. When has this been a restriction? When was this an issue? I don't understand how you could have just not even made an announcement, just lifted it silently, and no one would have ever known the difference. Did you know it was an issue?
I mean, I didn't know it was that big of an issue, but I knew that they tried to kind of have, you know, matching team sneakers. I know that was a thing for a little while, and then they transitioned out of that. But this Jordan thing, going back to what, the 1984 and
I know
85.
it's an issue in the NFL. The NFL, everything's an issue for those.
Absolutely.
You have your socks pulled down too low.
It's called the No Fun League, guy. You know better than that.
Everything.
So, yeah, this all stems back from 84 to 85 season when Michael Jordan famously received that warning, that letter, you know, that effectively was banning his black and red Air Jordan 1s. So, you know, here we are, man. In 2018, from 1984 to 85, we're still kind of dealing with this, and now we're removing it. Officially. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Hey, it's a great. I'm glad they're removing it. It's a great thing for the league.
Yeah.
It's something that I don't think anyone, even the players, probably knew existed. But hey, we're here. Another good job by Adam Silver, just kind of cleaning things up, making things transparent, letting people know that they are full of fun. The NBA is all about showcasing the fun. Yeah. They want powder thrown in the air. They want dancing. Mm-hmm. They want the wild stuff that goes on. The NFL kind of tries to stay away from that. Recently, I think maybe because of the anthem stuff, maybe because of the whole No Fun League moniker, they've tried to loosen up a little bit on the celebrations and loosen up a little bit on certain things, but they're still not like the NBA. The NBA is all about fun all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. And now putting the logos of whoever's sponsoring or whatever on the
sponsorship's going more soccer style.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I think there's obviously some money, and this can be part of that as well. Money and entertainment, you know, letting people, you know, be their own individuals. So I totally get that. Now, it sounds like there still are some restrictions, and I guess it says a team can still have its own color policy beyond the league's loosened guidelines. So it's kind of like gambling, right? So you know how it's legal now, you know, in the United States, but each state kind of resides on how they want to roll that out and what conditions
Colorado,
they have.
Get fucking going here.
God,
what
why
are we
do
doing?
I have to drive an hour and a half to fucking go gamble, and I still can't make any sports bets.
No.
You know?
You know what I heard too?
What'd you hear about?
It's going to be about they're already putting in forth the paperwork and stuff, but the approval process, so it's not going to be till the end of 2019.
Oh, really?
It'll be about fall 2019 before we're legalized here in Colorado.
Gotcha.
Which is crazy because if the process takes that long, how is Delaware already cracking? How is Jersey already cracking? The mayor went in there. The mayor of Delaware went in there and placed the actual first sports bet ever.
So I'm talking about.
So the East Coast is definitely ahead of us, man. We need to get it going
East
out
Coast
here.
with the mostest. I like it.
All right, so let's move to finish out sneakers. Let's just kind of talk about some of the upcoming releases we're looking forward to in September.
September starts tomorrow, right?
I guess
First
probably
week?
today for you guys if you're finding this
yeah.
podcast. Probably September 1st for you. So let's see what's dropping on the 1st. There are a couple different pairs. Oh, we talked about it already. Those the homie with the BMX joints, the Jordan 1s.
The
What were those
Nigel
called again?
Sylvesters.
Nigel
So this
Sylvester.
is the full global release, right? Because
Yep.
he's done his pop-ups at
Yep.
New York, Kith, all these. And you know what's funny? He even had, I think you had to follow his Instagram feed or whatever, but you could follow him to where he was going in certain parts of New York and be able to buy the shoes at like park pop-ups. But anyways, the global release on those is the first.
Where did you get this release calendar, first of all?
So this was a leak from who is it? It's Pirates. It's PY_RATES.
Well, Pirates is full of shit, man, as fucking what's his name once said.
Yeah?
Lloyd Christmas. John Denver's full of shit. These fools got the Air Presto mids on the 7th. They're
Yeah.
all over sneakers on the 20th.
Right.
Do you see that?
So yeah, so
Or
this
am I
was
fucked up here?
This came up a little while ago, but
Is that the only one that's off?
that's the only one that's off that I see so far.
Yeezy 700s on the 15th. That's
Yep,
still
that's
cracking.
still cracking.
Gosh, how can you pay $300 for that shoe retail? How do you pay $300 for that shoe? I don't get it. That should be $160.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd pay $180 for that shoe. If it
I
was
think-
$150, $160, I don't know if I'd still pay for it, but that's what I feel like the price range should be.
I don't understand why it's not in that 220 range like a V2, right? Like what makes that? Like they used some nicer premium materials on that, but they used some nicer
Does it
premium
boost
materials.
all the way through?
Yeah.
Boost all
Yeah.
the way in the mid.
So I don't know why that is a $300 at retail joint. I don't have it. As
Do you know sizing on it?
I've heard mixed.
I've heard it
deals,
runs small. I've heard true to size.
but I hear true to size, and then I've also heard that I myself, when you can go true to size, I can sometimes go half size down when it's true to size shoe across the globe. So I'd probably try a size 10. I would just go.
did you have
half
that
down.
pair one time?
I did
Why
not.
do I think? Oh, I think it was Chris Roberts here at
Chris
the
had
tattoo
that.
studio. Yeah,
And he tried to sell it to
He
me.
had him at a 9.5. That's why.
Yeah,
Remember he
and
sold them.
and he has about the same size of foot that I have, and he says you could make it work. But for me, I would probably go 10, so I would go my 3.0 Ultra Boost size on those.
Wave Runner's currently hitting between $500 and $600 on the resale market, depending on your size. You may be able to get them down in the 4s,
Yeah.
mid 4s. Again, depending on size. For the bigger sizes, going to be between 5 and 6. Is this something that you're going after on the 15th with the restock, with the re-release?
I might try to get them, but part of me just wants to try them, and $300 is the cheapest price I can even try them at. So
That's wild.
I just want to try them because I do hear, you talk about Foamer Simpson.
You can get the new Pharrells, any of the 3 colorways that drop the new Pharrells for that same
Way
price.
cheaper than that.
About 300. Well, for me, it's about 300.
And they've dropped under 300 for my sizes,
Right.
which is pretty cool. Now, aside from shipping.
I've seen them between 280 and 320, depending on which colorway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could cop a pair of those Pharrells for this price.
Yeah, I feel like I could wear those more. But
Right.
again, I don't have those 700s, so I can't really speak to it. But I heard they're really comfy. I know Foamer Simpson loves them. I know Teddy, the Boost God, loves them.
You know what I'm thinking? Here's what, and maybe I'm off on this because I don't own the shoe. Big guys love them. Every big guy that I've talked to,
Yeah.
Foamer Simpson's huge.
He's
Fool's like
tall guy.
6'5".
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
Teddy's a big guy. He's probably 6'3". You know what I mean? Bigger guy.
What about your boy Chris Roberts here at the tattoo shop?
Not a bigger guy. Doesn't own the shoe anymore.
Sold him.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not the reason. They were just too small for him.
Not a
That's
bigger
the reason.
guy. Sold
But
him.
me, I mean, I'm probably mid. I'm a little bit smaller than those guys. I'm 6'1", about 185, 190. Fluctuate 185, 190. So maybe I will love them. I mean, but that seems to be the trend. The people that I talk to that really, really like them are the bigger people.
Yeah.
The other people, maybe your size, maybe my size, they're just kind of cool on them. They're like, yeah, they're all right. But they're not over the moon about them. But those bigger people, and maybe it's because that Boost midsole is more padded. Maybe it is really cushioned and it kind of just supports them better. It doesn't bottom out like an Ultra Boost. That's another issue I've heard some of those bigger cats talk about is my Ultra Boost bottoming out.
Yeah.
I've never had that problem with an Ultra Boost. I've never bottomed out a pair of Ultra Boosts, but I also have a rotation. So take it for what you will.
Yeah.
What you've learned here in the past 3 minutes is probably nothing.
Yeah, I feel like I would much rather wear an Ultra Boost than that. That
Do you have
silhouette
issues with that bottoming out? Have you ever had that bottoming out issue in Ultra Boost?
on Boost.
You either know?
Not really, because I think I rotate mine.
Same thing,
Yeah,
rotation.
we rotate ours too much.
Yeah. Do you have a pair of Ultra Boost, JJ? That I see you wear more NMDs though than I do. I don't even know if I've seen you wear your Ultra Boost. So actually, never mind. I'm not even going to talk to you about this because you're not a good candidate. You don't fucking wear the shits. But you do wear the NMDs as your daily driver. So that's besides the point. What else we got on sneakers on the release calendar here? Anything more you're really, really looking forward to?
Well, I think those the Off-White Blazers.
Which ones?
Well, they call them the Grim Reaper.
Yep.
Pack or whatever. So you've got the yellow blazer with the orange swoosh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which ones? You going for the yellow and the orange swoosh, or you going for the black with the
I
white
do like
swoosh?
that pair, but the black. I'm the most neutral guy in shoe history. Okay,
Yeah.
so for me, the black, because I can wear it with everything. I think that's a great shoe. That'd be a daily driver for me.
Those are going to be so hard to get.
impossible to get.
Impossible to get. $130 retail.
Yeah.
The amount of money to be made on that shoe by the resale market is insane.
Yeah.
When are you ever able to buy anything that's not a GR,
Mm-hmm.
especially a collab? I don't know if I can think of another collab that has been $130.
No.
Other than the original, the OG Off-White
That's what I
Blazer.
like about Off-White, man. Their retail prices are super dope. Great price point. You're never going to pay that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the brand itself. I was going to say, what? Their
no.
brand is out of their mind.
Oh, no,
$450 for a sweatshirt, crew neck?
No. Yeah. They're shoes.
The
They're shoes. Yeah.
So the collabs. Yeah, Nike has done a good job of keeping those collab prices pretty
But ain't
similar.
nobody get them.
No, yeah, but
not us, guy.
I hopefully Bait locally is able to
We'll
get
see.
a pair. Maybe we can go jump in line like a couple bitch-made motherfuckers.
I'm already ready for sure. So it sounds like those the tentative release date.
You going
on
for
those,
both pairs or just the black?
I would try to get both for
Yeah,
sure.
why
But
wouldn't you,
I would
right?
rock the blacks for sure, and I'd probably rock the other pair if I was able to get them. But I might just keep those as trade bait or whatever for the future.
I had a chance to pop on those Blazers after they dropped. I had them in
OG pair?
Yeah, I think they were like high threes. Like I could have got them around
Really?
high threes or 400.
God, what's the lowest now?
Oh,
7,
fuck,
8?
6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Yeah.
But tentative release date.
No one was up on the Blazers, dude. A lot of people
Yeah.
were selling and passing on those Blazers.
Totally.
And I was one of them. I definitely should have copped, especially now. I've seen a couple people. I was in Vegas at the Agenda a few weeks ago. Saw a couple people rocking them there. They just look super sick on feet.
Yeah.
Pictures don't do them justice. And I've never been a big fan of the Blazer silhouette, but the Off-White version looks dope on
Yeah, they
feet.
do. For sure. So those are tentative. The blacks are a tentative release date of the 15th. And remember, I did say tentative. You've got a tentative release date of the,
Oh, that's not confirmed, huh?
Yeah. Well, not according to my sources. I haven't found it confirmed.
Gotcha.
But the other colorway, the like tan khaki with the orange swoosh, tentative on the 22nd. But again, retail price on those $130 if you can grab them.
What are we talking about with the Undercover React Element 87s?
Yeah. So the first colorway in that model is supposed to be sometime this month. Literally, I have seen question marks everywhere
Same
on
thing.
the actual release date. But we're talking 180, and the Undercover, I believe it's a Japanese company.
Okay,
They
that's
collabed
doing
with
that's,
that.
Yep.
Yeah, which are just they're fire. They'd be hard to wear, some of those colorways. Like the one that's supposed to come out today or come out next month is this month, whenever you're listening to this podcast, is like it has like a blue, kind of a bluish sole. It's got a yellow the yellow shower curtain, and then the red laces. So the colors are kind of out there and far out, but that is the model that is rumored to release this month.
What I'm seeing, this was updated by Soul Collector on the 30th, which was yesterday for us. On Thursday the 30th, it says that they're rumored to release on Thursday, September 13th. So that's kind of the latest rumor there as far as
biggest
release
update.
date. Yep. And retail price looking at $170. Is that what you paid for your other ones?
Let's see here.
Or were they $150?
No, they were 170.
They were 170 as well.
170, yeah.
So looking like even though it's a collab, staying with the same price point.
But I paid,
Nike.
But I paid resale.
Did you? Oh yeah, that's right. That's
I
right.
had to pay resale.
So that is something. That's a good point by you brought up. That's something that is cool. Nike is really keeping the price points down as opposed to Adidas. Everything's an LTD now. They're bumping the prices on everything. Adidas is killing us.
Those
on pricing
Pharrells,
lately.
I don't think they should have been 250 at retail. That's a little
300 on the Wave Runners. Get the fuck out of here.
They're
Adidas,
fucking
what are they
taxing.
doing?
Taxing.
Adidas is killing us as sneakerheads, man. If you're someone that likes all varieties of shoes, Nike is killing Adidas right now on pricing.
Yeah.
And I guess on drops. I mean, they're doing more collabs. They have more new stuff coming out, more cool stuff coming out. Adidas is kind of slipping a little bit, in my opinion. They're just not as I don't know.
What
That's
about
interesting.
What about the mids? So they introduced the mids that have the Aspen colorway concept.
Yeah.
So
Those are fire.
Broke Boys are calling them the wannabe Aspens.
Those are the
or knockoff
Graspens.
Aspens.
The Graspens, yeah.
Yeah, they look more like Graspens for
Green
sure.
and,
green, teal. You know, you got some purples in there.
Those are the Graspens, the grass-stained Aspens. The grass-stained Aspen collab.
That's tight. But that colorway, the Graspen specific colorway,
That's going to catch on, bro.
Is releasing
That's
September
fire.
1st.
You realize that's how fire that is.
Hey man, hashtag Graspin.
Graspins on Twitter. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we'll put that up on the screen if you're watching on the YouTube channel. They look just like the Kith Aspens, but yeah, they have the knit that's woven there is kind of a tealish green, has some different colors, and it's got a gray heel cup on the back. They look super dope. What would they search if they're just listening on iTunes or somewhere else? What would they search if they want to find that shoe?
I think they would just search new Ultra Boost mid.
Okay.
You know,
You'll be able to find on
because the
Google
silhouette, there's only like what 7 or 8.
Because I've never seen those before until you just showed me right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in the game.
You're
in the game more than most. I feel like I'm in the game.
You're in the
somewhat.
game.
But yeah, I've never seen those. When do those drop? Is that just straight?
That's rumored
Rumor.
to be September 1st. Tomorrow.
No shit.
Yeah. So
Dude, those
better
are
get on,
sick.
Better get on the Graspins.
I need those Graspins for sure, especially for a guy that does not currently own the Kith Aspen pair. You do. Sitting dead stock. He barely even looks at them because he doesn't want to get them dirty. This fool's the worst over here. About 1,400 pairs sitting dead stock. All the hype is shit. Wears GRs every day. That's Dal Palantonio. The realist. He's in the game. He's in there like swimwear. No, but I am interested in those for sure.
Well,
on Adidas.com or somewhere else. They're not a collab with anything,
Adidas,
right?
yeah. Adidas. No, they're not a collab.
You think
That's
they'll sit?
Adidas.com. I don't know. Some of the mids have.
Retail on it.
Retail, I don't know. I didn't even look here.
Probably
Let me
$220.
check. But there is a second colorway.
No. Rumored to drop tomorrow too?
I don't know if
Where
it's
have I
dropped-
been?
I don't know if it's rumored to drop tomorrow, but check out this colorway. Now this definitely is the knockoff Aspen.
Oh shit. It's kind of like a multicolor. That's kind of like a Biggie Smalls Coogee sweater. Damn. Oh, they got them side by side too. The Graspin
so
and
you
the
can really see 'em.
Coogee.
So we'll definitely put images of those on there, but let's see.
It's got the same teal as the Soulbox Packers had, but it's the upper of the Kith Aspen. So it's like
it's a little darker, wouldn't you say? A little darker?
oh, totally,
Yeah.
totally. I'm just saying pattern wise.
Okay.
The same pattern
yeah,
as the
totally.
Kith Aspen upper, and then it's just got. It almost looks like Coogee. It's the same Coogee color scheme. So if you picture a Coogee sweater what Biggie was rocking, it's black, it's teal, it's orange, it's red, all that shit from the Coogee selection. If you're looking at any Coogee sweater, that's kind of what the upper looks like on those ones. If both of these are dropping tomorrow, man, must cop. But you know what? You're probably right. Remember those? What was the last mid to drop in this style? The prototypes, those bright neon yellow
those bright
joints?
yellow and blue.
Yeah, I didn't cop those, but I
didn't
did
either.
see them restock quite a few times.
Yeah.
I saw them sitting around a little.
They're on exhibition, that sneaker boutique exhibition, maybe.com. They're on there right now. They have limited sizes for 110.
No shit.
110.
Wow.
So if you're hearing this podcast, go to Exhibition's website. And if you got smaller feet, I think it's 10 and under as of yesterday. 110 retail
Damn, that's wild.
right now.
What about the let me cut back and kind of finish this off where we were with the Element 87s. If those drop on the 13th, is that a pair you're going for?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
like yours enough?
Yeah.
Do these ones have the pods? Let me see the picture. Do they have those pods on them?
Yes, they do.
They do, but they're clear.
Yeah.
So they're kind of almost
like translucent.
Yeah.
Clear.
And does it look like they're dropping 2 colorways in those? Do you see 2 colorways? You see like a beige and tan?
There's multiple colorways. I don't know
Which ones are dropping on
which
the
ones are
13th?
dropping on which days, but there's rumored 4 or 5 colorways that I've seen rumored. So and some I like better than others, obviously.
Cool. Let's we'll kind of get into wrapping this up. There's a couple other things I want to cover as the shop is starting to open here. People are coming in. It might sound like the lunchroom behind us because everyone's starting to come into the shop, settle in. Usually we record the podcast earlier in the morning. We jump into it about 7:30 or 8. Today we got started a little late. Like I said, we had scheduling conflicts, blah, blah, blah. But to finish up the podcast, let's talk about the Supreme drops going into week 2, and then we'll kind of end with some U.S. Open stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the most recent Supreme drop just happened, and fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't like a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
I did like the little step ladder, but for $288 retail, dog.
Bro. This little step ladder. Yeah. What about resale?
Yeah. What about resale? Drew says.
That's what matters.
Yeah. So I didn't need it. I was able to cart it, not when it first dropped on Supreme's website yesterday.
Yeah.
Which was Thursday. But later on, there was a link sent out by a homie on Twitter, and they must have did a small restock on it. So I had it in cart. I just didn't want to pay $288 for it, man. I've got plenty of ladders.
Right.
I don't need a Supreme step ladder.
Dog, those Supreme beanies and hats, not the, I guess not. Well, not all the hats, but they just look so, I don't even know, dude, knockoff. Like,
yeah.
It looks like the little bodega shop, Gen X or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just took beanies and embroidered Supreme on them in a Scarface font. Like, honestly, It looks so knockoff to me. It just looks weird. That's the problem with Supreme that I can't fuck with. It's a lot of money for something so basic, you know, like the T-shirts or whatever it is. And as a practical guy coming up as a young kid that wasn't just handed shit, didn't get a lot of money, I'm still pretty frugal. Like you and I, we talked about that with our shoes. We have certain price points we're willing to pay. We won't really pay over that. Sometimes we'll splurge a little bit, as I did the other day. Bought the Levi's 4s for my birthday. Very excited about that. Happy to get those from StockX. I can't wait till those come in. I'm gonna rock the shit out of those Levi's 4s.
What did you think about the shoes as you're looking at that? The Nike SB Gatos.
Not really into any of them.
Me either, man. It's like a tennis shoe with a soccer.
Totally
tennis
looks like
an
shoe? Indoor soccer shoe.
Yeah,
that's exactly what hits me off the top. Is an indoor soccer shoe.
I can't rock with those.
Some of the jackets I would fuck with.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I'm not going to fuck with them because I'm not going to pay the resale price on them, and I missed out yesterday, or I didn't even try.
Right.
So some of those I would fuck with, but other than that, just not something I'm really insanely geeked on.
Totally.
Let's finish up. We talked a little bit about Serena Williams, U.S. Open stuff going on there. She's actually facing Venus tonight.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge match.
The dueling sisters.
By the time you guys hear this, it's probably already happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going down tonight. Venus and Serena Williams might be for the very, very last time. For me, I have my DVR set to record.
Nice.
That's appointment television. I love monumental moments in sports. I love witnessing something that could be happening for the very last time. Yeah. Now, I love to watch it live usually, but circumstances aren't going to warrant that. I have to work tonight. I got to get a bunch of stuff done because I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. Nice. So I got a bunch of stuff here to do for Certified. But nonetheless, I'm going to record it, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to stay off social media, and I'm going to go home and catch it like it was live.
That's tight.
I'm going to enjoy that match, man. That's something that is monumental. Those women have given everything, literally their whole lives to the game. Yep. You see the new Nike commercial?
The Nike commercial is super fire, super inspiring.
Oh my gosh.
With Serena and her pops, man. Bro. You know, and he's telling her to imagine being in the U.S. Open.
Wow.
And this is like Nike did
I got goosebumps, man.
Dude.
It was the next thing. The next step for me was crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had goosebumps watching that commercial.
Such a great job.
Man, great job by Nike. Great job by their marketing department. I feel like we're bigging up Nike a lot on this podcast, but they're doing good things.
I think
they're making moves.
I think Adidas should take a little bit of lessons.
I agree.
From their PR, at least from their PR marketing department. The Nike's killing it.
It's like they kind of rested on, it feels like they're resting on their laurels a little bit. It feels like they're kind of, and hopefully they're taking, their design team is hard at work and they're coming out with some cool shit. But
look what they did before the golf season with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
You know, and his whole dad in the background talking. Earl Woods, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Again, another one of those all-inspiring goosebumps. You know, hopefully this story, you know, progresses into, you know, a championship or you know, a Masters tournament or a major or whatever it is. Same with Serena.
Just dreams, man. Just little kid dreams.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? For Venus and Serena, hood dreams. I mean, these are two girls that grew up in Compton. So to make it to the spot they're at, to be on that stage, to have played each other, this is the 30th meeting. In their history, the 30th meeting. Wow. That's crazy to me.
That's awesome.
So very, very excited for that. The reason that I bring this up also is the tutu situation.
Yeah.
We talked about her not being able to wear the cat suit.
Right. The banning of the cat suit.
The tennis, they banned the cat suit. She's not able to wear that. So she shows up in an off-white, black,
Virgil designed tutu. And then she also has a purple colorway of it. But did you see the jacket?
No, I didn't see the jacket.
Dude, look that up. So it's the off-white. So it has like the Nike check on her, what would it be, left side, and it says logo right above it. But it's like this black and almost it's with the way Virgil did it. You know, so he has the deconstructed look.
Yeah.
So it's like a deconstructed jacket. So it looks like it's all kind of pieced together before it would go into production. Like here's the pre-model of it. But yeah, that's the jacket that she has been walking out to onto the court.
Dude, just the outfit itself is super fire. It's the black tutu. It's got a black upper, and then it's kind of split over the shoulder. And then the shoulder is brown, and it almost blends in with her from the far away shots. And I think this is what they intended to do. The brown kind of obviously matches her skin tone. So from far away, it looks really cool. It looks like she's wearing almost like a half top, or like it's cut diagonally.
It does,
and then it's got the off-white. It just says logo, and then it has it does still have the Nike logo underneath it, which is interesting. You know, when they agreed on this placement with Virgil, I guarantee the Nike executive was like, hey man, we'll do this collab for Serena. We want her to wear this, but we still want to make sure our Nike logo is displayed under that shit. We don't want it just to say logo, like the Nike box. You know, you look, it doesn't have the swoosh. It just says swoosh.
Right.
Nike, they didn't want to go that far with this one. They wanted to make sure their logo is still showcased on national TV in one of the biggest matches of the U.S. Open with her and Venus.
Totally. And then even her bag. Look at the bottom left.
Super sick.
In the off-white font saying AKA Queen. Got the Nike logo on the other side. You know, she's got the off-white jacket with the off-white logos on the cuffs. Just fire collab.
Super sick. I wonder if she's going to come in, and she unveiled this. She wore this the other night during her first round match. I wonder if she's going to do something similar, have a different version of it going into tonight with Venus. I wonder what that's going to look like. Yeah. Obviously, you guys hearing the podcast, you'll probably already know. If you're into some tennis there, I just thought that was interesting because we brought up the banning of the cat suit, and then she comes out in a straight up off-white tutu, which was fire. Anything else you want to cover on the podcast, man? We are an hour in. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in, so I think that's probably good for this episode here. Unless you got anything more burning on your mind, doing anything fun this weekend? You got any plans?
This weekend, we're going to work a little bit. I think Robin and I and a couple friends, you're more than welcome to come on Sunday. We're going to do a Sunday fun day down in the Rhino district.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of the hipster area. If you fools don't know that are tuning in, it's, you know, a lot of bars, a lot of you know, tapas foods and those type of trendy joints. Not my cup of tea, but sometimes you got to fill out the old lady's love tank. You know
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you.
So Sunday, man, if you're down 2 p.m. or later, we'll just head down there, man, and do something.
I have a ton of stuff to do on Sunday, just because I didn't get a day. Normally I have a day off during the week. I didn't get a day off during the week this week because I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, which is Saturday. Okay. Normally I work Saturday, so I'm taking my day off and kind of switching it around so I can go to the wedding. Congratulations to the homie Jeremy and Jen.
Nice.
Him and his lady getting married. Been together quite a while, so it'll be cool. It's going to be a fun ceremony. Super sick venue too. Really, really nice venue. So I'll probably have some pictures up on the socials of that. Your boy all suited and booted out there looking fresh at the wedding. And then Sunday, man, I just got to get a bunch of stuff done. I got to get a vlog up. I got to catch up on some things. People asking when the next vlog is coming. I haven't had any shoes. So I think the next vlog, you and I will probably do together. We'll probably review those Pharrells, try to get that done this weekend, get that posted up this weekend or early next week. And then boom, right back into the podcast on Monday. Yeah. We'll talk about what we saw over the weekend, kind of what went on. And then rolling into the NFL season, man. NFL kickoff. We are under a week away. The Thursday night game. Eagles Falcons, I think, opens up the season on NBC. It's going to be awesome. Super excited for the start of football season. That all goes on and kicks off next Thursday. Hopefully by then, everyone has their fantasy drafts done. You guys are all registered for the DraftKings tournament. Again, Send us your usernames. I think that's about all from my end. You got anything more?
That's it, man. You know, there is something coming up on September 8th, the Kith and Tommy collab. So we can leave it with our listeners. Yeah. Is this enough to bring Tommy back into the limelight that they were huge in the 90s? September 8th.
Oh, okay, cool. So we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, so we can talk about that, but that's something that we'd leave you with. Aside from that,
Dope, man.
That's what we got.
As always, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. We're dropping 2 every week. Tuesdays and Fridays will be the usual days. Sometimes we have to bump it as we did this one, but nonetheless, appreciate you guys. Always appreciate your feedback. Send us those usernames for DraftKings. We're winding down. It's coming up to it. Even through the middle of the season, if you want to send us some stuff during the middle of the week, you can do that too. We'll still be able to add you to the group. I just don't want to be adding people on Sunday morning because, like I said, I got enough bullshit with 6 leagues and managing my own teams and my own DraftKings and everything going on. But as always, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast, and we will see you fools on Tuesday.